A warm welcome to you, our viewers, to this edition of the news in English on Rwanda Television with me, Serge Hori. As always, we'll begin with the headlines. The First Lady of Rwanda, Her Excellency Jeannette Kagame, has hosted over 300 children from across the country for the annual end-of-year children's party. Prime Minister Dr. Edouard Ngirente has represented His Excellency President Paul Kagame in the inauguration ceremony of His Excellency André Rajoelina, the President of the Republic of Madagascar. Now the details, I'm glad you're able to join us. I'll be sitting in for Olive Nhete. Now, on Saturday, the First Lady of Rwanda, Her Excellency Jeannette Kagame, joined children from different districts of the country in celebrating the holiday season. It's an event organized to entertain children while wishing them a happy end of year 2023. Olive Nhete with the details.
The celebrations kicked off with different enjoyment activities, such as games, dancing and painting, to name a few. The joyous atmosphere was evident on the faces of children. Irankunda Abidivine of 9 years, who recited a poem titled My Value, My Life, and Mugisha Nsengiyumva of 11 years, expressed their heartfelt feelings. I'm happy because I met the person that I love very much, Her Excellency the First Lady. I'm at ease and I feel very good. The First Lady, Her Excellency Jeannette Kagame, celebrated with children and offered them gifts to wish them a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year of 2024. The event was attended by children from various districts of the country. Olive Nhete, RTV News.
Now, as we noted in the headlines, Prime Minister Dr. Edouard Ngirente has represented His Excellency President Paul Kagame in the inauguration ceremony of His Excellency André Rajoelina, the President of the Republic of Madagascar. President Rajoelina won Madagascar's presidential elections, taking 58.96% of votes, and this becomes the 49-year-old's second term in office following elections. In June this year, the Madagascan head of state visited Rwanda after President Kagame visited his country back in 2019. Rwanda and Madagascar have different cooperation agreements centered on promoting mutual development, focusing on sectors like tourism, mining, agriculture, as well as ICT and infrastructure development. Now, traders and their customers here in Kigali City have noted that food prices have reduced significantly as the holiday season approaches, and there is confidence that they will continue to do so as agricultural productivity continues to increase in the country. Inflation figures have plummeted all the way from 21% down to just 9.3%. The third quarter of this year has seen agricultural productivity go up by 3%. The service sector has registered a 9% increase, while the industrial sector saw growth of as much as 14%. The construction sector saw a jump of 24%, the telecommunications sector 25%, while the transportation sector held its own with a 16% jump. Rwanda's gross domestic product, or GDP, as a whole, that is, went up by 7.5% during the third quarter of 2023, compared to 6.3% during the previous quarter and 9.2% in the first, giving confidence that Rwanda's economic growth this year will exceed the 6.3% target that had been set. Now to Mozambique's Cabo Delgado province, where areas previously ravaged by acts of terrorism are now peaceful, thanks to the efforts of Rwandan security forces that have been posted there for the last 2 years. Ports that had all but ceased operations on the Indian Ocean are now open again, and local residents that had fled returned to their homes and are able to go about their normal activities thanks to the security now present. The Rwandan security forces have also engaged in developmental activities to help local communities to get back on their feet, including constructing things like modern markets for them. All of the developmental activities now evident in Cabo Delgado had become impossible since 2017, when extremist elements began terrorizing local residents. That was until the deployment of Rwandan security forces in 2021 that resulted in the dramatic change. More than 87% of the local residents of Cabo Delgado that had fled the province have now returned home. Now to matters back here home. The governor of the Western Province, Lambert Dushimimana, has been elected to lead the RPF Inkotanyi party in that province following the party provincial extraordinary congress in the West that brought together as many as 300 RPF Inkotanyi members from all the districts of that province. The newly elected provincial chairperson of the party in that region has vowed to work to address the challenges local residents in the West are struggling with, saying projects are to be swiftly implemented to this end as the country as a whole prepares for the presidential and parliamentary elections in July next year, that is. During the provincial extraordinary congress of the Western Province, other officials in the party's executive committee at that level were also elected, as well as youth and women's representatives. Now, officials in the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources have noted that the efforts of coffee farmers, as well as those who grow things like fruits and vegetables, and value addition to agricultural exports has helped revenue from such products reach more than $800 million last year, 34% of all the country's exports. Processing plants have been set up at key locations across the country to ensure that value addition to agricultural produce is facilitated, bringing in more revenue for all involved in the sector and the country as a whole. Local farmers have also been making study trips to countries like Kenya, Greece, and the Netherlands to see for themselves the importance of processing agricultural produce before it is exported. The goal is to increase the value of Rwanda's agricultural exports and hit the $1 billion mark by June next year. Taking the time to join us. I hope you continue to have a great weekend. Goodbye.